Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. This is our H.O.O.D recovery services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Well, good morning. Today is September the 2nd. I am hoping that you're going to have a beautiful day. I doubt seriously that you are awake right now. However, today is going to be a beautiful day. I'm already thinking about you guys and keeping you in my thoughts and prayers that your day will be full of recovery and productive and positive. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer, and then we'll get into the Just for Today in a meditation for today, okay? Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. I have people up already. I hear little feet moving around already this morning. They're excited to have the day off from school. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation. All right. It is entitled for September 2nd, Higher Powered. Daily practice of our 12-step program enables us to change from what we were to people guided by a higher power. That is taken from the basic text, page 86. Who have we been and who have we become? There are a couple of ways to answer this question. One is very simple. We came to Narcotics Anonymous as addicts, our addiction killing us. In NA, we've been freed from our obsession with drugs and our compulsion to use, and our lives have changed. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. Who have we really been? In the past, we were people without power or direction. We felt like we had no purpose, no reason for living. Our lives didn't make any more sense to us than they did to our families, our friends, or our neighbors. Who are we really becoming? Today, we are not merely clean addicts, but people with a sense of direction, a purpose, and a power greater than ourselves. Through daily practice of the 12 steps, we've begun to understand how our addiction warped our feelings, motivations, and behavior. Gradually, the destructive force of our disease has been replaced by the life-giving force of our higher power. Recovery means more than cleaning up. It means powering up. We have done more than shed some bad habits. We are becoming new people, guided by a higher power. Just for today, the guidance I need to become a new person is ready at hand. Today, I will draw further away from my old lack of direction and closer to my higher power. Isn't that beautiful? When I think about it, I think about the vehicle that I drive, and I have some lettering on my vehicle, and it has on one side, it says God powered, right? And that's the same as saying higher powered. And it's a reminder to me. Sometimes it helps me with my road rage, but it's a reminder to me that the vehicle in my life that moves me around is not man-made. It's not physical in nature. It's spiritual in nature, right? Being God-powered or higher powered allows us to do things that we normally would not be able to accomplish. And it's not just one directional, right? It has a lot to do with our first, second, and third step, right? Coming to believe that we could be restored to sanity is an act of faith. It's saying that I came to this place of faith and I believe that I could be restored to sanity, right? But before we even got to that point, we were able to recognize that we were without direction. We were without purpose, that our obsession with drugs and our compulsion to use was changing us, had changed us drastically. No one wanted to interact with us. No one could trust us. Even our children sometimes not rebelled, but they were repelled away from us because of our behavior. So we desperately needed to surrender to the fact that we could not control this. This using had taken us. It had taken our soul, our spirit, our minds, our bodies, our family. It took everything away from us. But yet we kept investing. We kept making trades. We kept going to the next thing. The very thing that we said we would never do, we ended up doing because it was part of our bartering process to get the next one. Every day was a hustle. And that's what we did. And if we didn't have to hustle like that, eventually we had to lie like that. Maybe money was not an issue. Maybe we had like so much money and we didn't have to hustle to get the next one, but we had to lie to the people that we loved to be able to go and get the next one, staying out late at night and them wondering where we were. Maybe for some of us, our financial situation was such where our children and our wives or our homestead was all taken care of. We didn't have to worry about paying bills because it was already taken care of. There was already enough money to do that. It was our leisure, our right to go and have a good time because we worked hard. But when we went out to play, we would stay for days and sometimes not even come back until it was time to go back to work. And we did that repetitively until we could not do it anymore. Some of us in that sweet situation still lost our jobs. We lost respect of the people in our community. How many of us had to be dragged home or dropped off at home, or there was a search out for us, missing person. We weren't missing. We were held up in a hotel using and tricking, man or female, man or woman, right? That's where we were until we surrendered with our first step. And however it came, if it came through a judge, if it came through jail, if it came through intervention with our families at some point in time, if we're here listening to this, we surrendered. And in that process, we were saying, yeah, I have to stop because I believe that I can have a better life. I can be restored to it's like one and two go together. So we came to believe that we could be restored to sanity, and then we turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understand him or her or it. You know, I'm not big on the pronoun thing, but many people, when they talk about their higher power, they don't believe that their higher power has a gender. And so we can feel free to say, the God of my understanding is what I need when I need it. If you ever watched that movie called The Shack, Mackenzie, his name is Mac. but he has an interaction with the God of his own understanding. And it's almost kind of like that show called Touched by an Angel, except for in this particular movie, the physical being of God starts out as a female. And then it changes over to a Native American, right? Man. So it starts out as an African American female, and then at another stage where his need is for his papa and not mama, right? It changes to a Native American man. And I was like, how did they capture that? That, you know, God transcends that he, she, female, male, right? God is what we need whenever we need and however we need. And we have to believe that. And when we believe that, we're able to be powered by our belief in the God of our understanding. And that relationship is intimate. And that relationship is unique. And that relationship is individual. It is deeply personal. And it is your absolute right to have it. It's not negotiable. It's your right as a human being. It's your right as a child of God to develop and to embrace the life-giving force of your higher power. The basic text talks about the destructive lower power, a lower destructive power, right? Here it calls it the destructive force of our disease. But regardless to what you call it, we know that it was diseased. We know that it was dark. We know that it was evil. We know that it was not good for us. No matter, like, we don't have to go crazy about the terminology that we apply to the disease of addiction. But today, that's not who we are. We are powering up with the power of the God of our own understanding. We're not in a position anymore where we're running away from our mess that we created in active addiction. We're not doing that anymore. That's not who we are anymore. So when people bring that to you and they try to act like you are that same dirty, grimy man, boy, actually, that wanted to be a man and didn't know how to go about it, or someone comes to you and tries to treat you like a $2 trick instead of the beautiful woman that you are today, those are people that we need to gently and sometimes more forcefully remind them. You might have got away with that back then, but let me tell you something. That same behavior that you're displaying towards me right now was one of the reasons that I chose to use drugs, because of my own self-degradation and how people were treating me. And I could not handle the reality of that. So I always had to put something on top of it so that it was more palatable. But I'm going to let you know something. Don't you ever refer to me like that again. Don't you ever talk to me like that again. And if that's what you need to do to relate to me, I'm giving you permission to exit stage left right out of my life, because I refuse to have that energy around me today. I don't need you to remind me of who I used to be. I need you to respect me for who I am today, just like I respect you. You can use those words. You can take them, you can use them, or you can rephrase them. But don't let anyone abuse or misuse you, right? Because you're a higher powered individual today. You're a God filled person today. You have motivations and you have ambitions that are part of God's will and purpose for you. Your third step. Maybe you need the strength to be able to carry them out. So you need to get into your 11th step so that you understand that it's really not just your energy accomplishing this, and neither will it ever be, right? That you would be God dependent instead of self reliant. Yeah. I was thinking about this thing and then I'll let you guys go. I was thinking about this when I was talking about the shack, how some religions are very monotheistic, right? One God, and that God is always assigned a male gender, he, him, right? Um, Father, Heavenly Father, right? But for some people, the term father is repulsive, right? To some people, much of their abuse were in the hands of their father, right? And so how loving and kind and valued it is to allow a child of yours to refer to you in a term that they understand, that doesn't cause a bunch of schisms in their brain, right? Just like some mothers abuse their children horribly, right? So maybe some sons or daughters would never assign a female gender to their higher power. They can't do it. It causes too many issues, triggers. And how wonderful is it that there's a higher power that can become or be identified as whatever the child needs the higher power to be, so that the relationship can develop in a manner that is productive and beneficial for the child, in this case, the addict seeking recovery. That's why I don't get hung up about whether a person even has a higher power or whether they talk to me about their higher power or who or what their higher power is. Does it make you a better person? Does it allow you to stop lying, cheating, and stealing and manipulating and abusing yourself and others? Does it do that for you? Then really that's all that matters to me. Does it make you a more loving and kind individual, more forgiving person? The proof is in the pudding, right? You can tell that I have a higher power by the way that I treat the people around me and by the way that I treat myself. You can tell a person is struggling with their higher power by the way that they act. I was talking to one lady and we were on the phone and she was going through her, unlocking her door, going in, and we were on the cell phone. And all of a sudden she started praying. And I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, honey, I don't go in my house without stopping and praying." And I was like, "Okay." And then later when I had a conversation with her, I was like, "Do you do that all the time when you're on the phone with someone?" honey, if they don't love me enough to let me do that, however long it takes, then I don't need to be talking to them. So let me tell you something. I pray and I pray quite often throughout the course of the day, but I would never assume that the person in my presence is okay with me doing that. Prayer is deeply personal. You might do that with anybody else, but when we're talking, what I would like for you to say is, excuse me, let me call you back. I'll get right back to you. Right? Our relationship probably lasted another year after that because this is the same person that would jump in my vehicle vaping. And this was when vaping first came out, vaping for nicotine. And I was like, what are you doing? Oh, you don't want me to vape in your car? I don't want you to smoke in my car. And I definitely don't want you to vape. Because I don't know if you notice or not, but vaping has like a steam, like a little steam type smoke. Psychologically, to me, it's the same as someone smoking in my car. Don't ever jump in my car and do that again. So I just saw that her higher power was something that it only took her so far. It didn't take her to a point. It took her to consider herself, right? But it didn't take her to the point where she considered others. So that would not be a higher power that would work for me. You have to find a higher power that you can allow to change you from your old self to the new person that you need to be. You need to find a higher power that can draw you further away from your old lack of direction and closer to love, kindness, joy, goodwill towards man and God, right? That's what we all need, not just you with me, right? And I hope you don't get offended when I say you because I'm just being very general, right? These are all experiences that I've lived, that I understand today, that I feel that this is my higher power's will for me to expound on these things and make the conversation available to you so that you can chill out in the morning and wake up and not just start to operate in your day in your own energy, in your own mindset, your own automatic negative thoughts, but to have something that is God-centered and encouraging for you, that gives out hope and will be available on demand. That's what H.O.O.D stands for, H-O.O.D, hope offered on demand when you need it, right? When you need it. So I hope that you benefited today. I've enjoyed your company. And I hope that you will take this to another level and explore your relationship with your higher power. And if you don't feel higher powered by your higher power, right? Why not? What is in the way? For some people, this has just been my experience. An apology, an amends, asking for forgiveness is in the way. There's something that is torturing you that you feel remorseful about that you haven't dealt with. And that's the beauty of this program. It helps you live this program daily. That's what the 10th step is all about, right? Being able to promptly make amends where it's needed. But there's some stuff that's on our 8th step, and we haven't even approached some of those old bugaboos because we're afraid, or we don't have the confidence right now that we can do it without being rejected. And those are some of the very same things that we used about. But you're different today. You are not that same person today. You are a beautiful person today. You are a encourager today. You are a mother today for real. You are a father today for real. You are a husband today that is faithful. Fidelity to recovery is being um, faithful to the people that are in our lives that we chose. We chose, right? There's some people that we didn't choose, like our parents. But for the most part, the people in our life today, we ask them to be there, and we can be faithful today, right? And if the situation is so topsy-turvy and we can't do it anymore, it's okay to say, you know what, this isn't working for me. And explore what it is. Go get counseling. Go get marital counseling. Go get family counseling. There's so much more that we can do in a spirit of recovery beyond just making meetings and beyond calling our sponsor and our network and working the steps. There's so many other resources out there. If you need some of those or you're wondering what they could be, hit me up at my Gmail, recoveryofhope21@gmail.com, and let me know what it is you're dealing with. Because once I know for sure what it is you're trying to overcome that's causing you schisms, once I know that, I can pull the resources that you need, right? And you will get more tools to be able to do and to walk in a higher powered manner. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.